Today, we're diving into something that is, no joke, a secret language for your website. It's a way for you to talk directly to search engines and, more importantly, to AI. It's called schema markup, and honestly, it might just be your website's new superpower.
So let's just stop and think about this for a second. How does a search engine like Google actually get what your website is about? I mean, they're smart for sure, but they can't understand context and meaning the way we humans do. And this is a huge deal, especially now that we're asking AI to give us direct answers to pretty much everything. Okay, here's a perfect example. Take the word avatar. Your website might have it in a big headline, but are you talking about that blockbuster James Cameron movie? Or are you talking about a user's little profile picture? To a computer that's just reading code, it's all the same. It's just a word with zero context, and that's a problem.
And that right there, that's the search engine's dilemma. When we look at a web page, we instantly understand the meaning behind it all. But for a search engine, it's kind of like being handed a complicated book with no chapter titles, no index, nothing.
They see the text, they see the code, but they're basically guessing at how it all fits together. You know, is this paragraph a recipe? Is this number a price or an address? Without some help, they're just making an educated guess. And that means we get search results that aren't quite right, whether we're typing into a search bar or asking our smart speaker a question.
So what's the fix for this? Well, it's actually this really brilliant solution called schema.org. The best way to think about it is like a universal translator, a common language built specifically to solve this problem of meaning.
The official definition calls it a collection of shared vocabularies, which sounds a little dry. I prefer this analogy. It's like creating a detailed table of contents for search engines. It's you explicitly telling them, hey, this section right here, it's about a movie. And this thing over here, that's a 5-star rating for it. No more guesswork.
And you know, this isn't some random tool someone built. Schema.org was a joint effort. It was created by the search giants themselves. We're talking Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, Yandex. They built this because they want us to use it. It makes their search results better, and, crucially, it gets the entire web ready for the next wave of AI.
Okay, so that's the what and the why. But how does it actually work? Let's break down how you can take just plain old text and turn it into super clear, structured data that a machine can understand perfectly.
So let's go back to our movie example. Let's say you've got some simple code on your page, a heading that says Avatar, and right below it, Director James Cameron. To a search engine, these are just characters on a screen. It has no idea that Avatar is the movie's name or that James Cameron is a person who directed it. So step one is to tell the search engine what this whole block of information is about. You do that by adding these little tags, item scope and item type. This is basically you putting a big label on it that says, hey Google, everything inside this box is about one specific thing, and that thing is a movie. Then comes the really cool part. Once the search engine knows it's looking at a movie, you can start labeling all the little details using item prop, which just means item property. You're saying, okay, this piece of text, that's the movie's name. This one, that's the director. And this bit here is the genre. And just like that, you've turned a confusing jumble of words into perfectly structured data.
So, why would you bother doing all of this? Well, the payoff is absolutely massive. This is how you take your website's search result from being just another boring blue link to something that people can't help but click on.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got your standard everyday result. On the right, you have what's called a rich snippet, and it's powered by schema. Now be honest, which one are you going to click? The one with the star ratings, the reviews, the cooking time, right? Of course, it just jumps off the page.
So the benefits are real and they are immediate. You get those eye-catching rich snippets. You can even influence what shows up in those big knowledge panels on the side of the search results. All of this leads to more people clicking on your link, which in turn can absolutely help improve your search rankings over time. It's a win-win-win.
But this is where it gets really important. This whole thing isn't just about making search results look prettier today. Schema is fundamentally about making your website's content ready for the future, a future that is all about AI. Yeah, this quote from One Click SEO just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. When you ask your Alexa or Google Assistant a question like, how long do I bake chicken for? Where do you think it's getting that answer? It's not magic. It's pulling that information from websites that have structured their data using schema. What you're really doing when you add schema is turning your website into a mini database. It's not just a collection of articles anymore. It's a structured source of facts that an AI can easily search, understand, and then use to answer someone's question out loud. You are literally making your content AI ready.
Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but it also sounds super technical, right? Well, the good news is getting started is way, way easier than you think. You really don't have to be a coding genius to do this.
I mean, just to give you an idea of how comprehensive this is, there are currently 827 different types of things you can describe with schema. It doesn't matter if your website is about recipes, local businesses, medical info, products, you name it. There's almost certainly a schema for it.
And here's how you do it. It really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you go to the schema.org website and find the right category for your content. Second, you use one of the many free online tools, a schema generator, to create the code for you. You just fill in the blanks. And third, and this is important, you test your code using a tool from Google to make sure it's all working correctly before you put it on your site.
Now, one super important tip to remember, you should only mark up content that your visitors can actually see on the page. You can't, for example, hide a 5-star rating in your code if it's not actually displayed on the website. That's a big no-no, and search engines don't like it. So be thorough, but always be honest.
Which brings us right back to the big question. With AI assistance and AI-powered search becoming the new normal, using schema isn't really optional anymore. It's the language of the modern, intelligent web. So, is your website ready to start speaking it?